So like all things, I overthink it. So I go straight to the complex. I overthink the small things. It's just always been a problem that I've had. And so I started taking accountability, and first thing I got to was like grinding. So I started kind of learning how to have, compassion for myself. And somewhere along those lines, I learned baby steps. Everything that I'm doing is baby steps, and every baby step has a baby step, and just all the way back until you get to where you are now and have to move forward. If I want to leave, I need to put my shoes on. My brain knows I'm not going to be in a car unless I have shoes on my feet. And so as long as the shoes are on my feet, my brain is not getting anywhere closer to leaving. As long as keys are not in my hand, my brain is not getting anywhere closer to leaving. As long as my hand is not on the doorknob to go outside, you know what I'm saying? My brain is not doing it. And so I just take, if I don't want to procrastinate, then I know that I need to leave now, but I know how I am and then could leave in 2 hours because that's how I get, then I know I should at least put my shoes on. And for me, that involves climbing down, opening the door, getting my shoes on, and by the time that happens, I'm like, start the car. And I'll procrastinate an hour while the car's running. I just will sometimes. But when I get in the car and leave, it's still better than 2 or 3 hours. So all baby steps have baby steps, and so this is just how my brain works. I always learn the most complex stuff, and then I come back to learning the basics. I'm getting better about finding that balance. So I'm coming here and I realize I take baby steps, but I be grinding. I'm a beast. I just can't do nothing but beast, right? And while I'm working, it's just how my brain works. So I'm like, man, this sucks. My arm's tired. Like, how do I not have that be the case? And so you learn to finesse. You learn technique, and technique can only be acquired if you start from the bottom. You can't start in the middle and acquire all that. You can, but it's just not gonna be. It's gonna be a waste of your time because you're gonna have to go back to the bottom anyway. So I acquire that technique and that finesse. And with hand tools, when you acquire with hand tools, you acquire knowledge of how the thing works that you're trying to fix or work on. And so then when you do get better tools, now you know the technique. Now you're even more of a beast instead of just going in OP and being destructive for no reason. I've been grinding, and now I'm taking baby steps, but during those baby steps, I'm still grinding. And that's why earlier I was going to say that I have the problem of overthinking shit, but it ain't a problem. It's just how my brain works. If it's a problem and balance is truth, then it's also not a problem. It's a blessing. And so it's just up to me to choose which one to focus on. And I think you should never ignore one or the other. You should always make sure that you see both. If shit's fucked up, make sure you see the good. You know what I'm saying? You want to see the good. You want to take that shit in. But if your shit's good, don't just ignore the bad. Make sure you still see the potential of the bad. You have to always look. You got to be in balance, but you always have to perceive both sides of the coin. And it's good for you because when you start doing that, you start fucking doing that. I don't know how to explain it any more than that. Just start doing it, and then you're going to start doing it for everything. Everything works that way. So you're not just going to be able to turn your brain over and be like, bam, I'm just going to start thinking like this automatically overnight. But you got to take a baby step. So next time something's fucked, make yourself see why it's not fucked. If you can't see, at least make sure you acknowledge when the thing happens to prove to you that it was actually better for it to happen that way. Right? Acknowledge it, see it. And the more you start to see it, the closer you get to seeing it in real time. Once you start seeing it in real time, you start applying it. Once you start applying it, you start seeing that it's truth. Once you start seeing that it's truth, you start to believe it. And once you start to believe it, you start to manifest it. That is how manifestation works. Manifestation does not sit on your goddamn ass and it's gonna happen because I think about it happening, it's gonna be true. No, because in your mind, you're only gonna be able to think about step 1 point, or like step 0.33, 15.33, which doesn't even exist. It's not even gonna happen that way because that's just a future thing that you've dreamt up. And you're gonna miss everything in between it, all those steps in between it. And your brain's gonna know that all those steps are missing, and it's gonna know that since all those steps are missing, this shit's not gonna fucking come true. It's not gonna really poof into reality. You got to give yourself more credit. So if you do think that you're going to sit on your ass and say good things are going to happen, you got to give your subconscious more credit to know that you're fucking full of shit. Look, you can psych yourself out consciously all day, and you can build up these streams of belief that make you feel good in the moment about not doing the fucking work, which is just taking a baby step. But in the depths of your mind, the deepest part of you, that's going to come back. And then you're going to be in a depression, and then you're going to say, I'm just a depressed person, my brain just works that way, I'm just fucking broken. And you're not going to see the steps that led to the release of chemicals in your brain that is causing you to be depressed. You're going to completely miss it. And when you completely miss it, you're just going to keep believing that there's something wrong with you. Sorry, I paused. My brain just started being flooded with fucking... Dude, that's everything. That's religion, all that shit. When you don't understand it, you say it's God that did it. God real. God real. But God ain't out here answering your dumbass prayers about shit that you can fucking work on. See, when you pray to God for it, you just assume that it's just gonna poof and manifest into existence. The key is earnest prayer. But when you earnestly pray, then you start seeing the paths in your life that lead to the thing that you want. And so you start to take those paths. That's the only thing that happened. God gave you a brain. God gave you a piece of himself when he gave you a brain and consciousness. Everything you've ever produced, everything you ever will produce will be produced because of it. Everything that has been produced and everything that will be produced is produced because of one. And because of baby steps. You are perfect. You are all you need. Now, you don't want to get in your, I'm perfect, then start getting a big ass head, but you are perfect. It doesn't matter. You could be missing all your limbs. If somehow you're still like alive and functioning and getting around and feeding yourself, you're what you need. Stephen Hawking. Look at that nigga. You got more than that nigga got. So you got no excuse. The only thing is that nigga took baby steps. When he was young, he read up on certain things and then applied himself to experience those things. He took baby steps and he grew a knowledge of it. If you're good at anything, you could be good at anything. You just have to understand that you didn't get good at that thing overnight. You weren't just good at it when you picked it up. So that thing that you love that you're good at, look at it and be like, oh, this is why I'm good at it. I could have chosen a million different things and did the same thing and been good at that thing, but I'm good at this thing because I love it. And then be like, okay, well, I love myself and I'm sad sometimes. Real sad. I get in depression. I don't know how I'm gonna move forward. And then you do how you did the thing you love. You take that first baby step, and it might be ugly at first. It might not be as good as you want it to be at first or next. But you just have to know, which is benefit you. It's good that you are good at something like playing the drums or fucking guitar or painting or fucking anything. And there's no, because you have a belief of that and you have a recollection of the baby steps that you took to get there, that okay, it might be ugly when I'm stepping forward, trying to fucking heal myself, trying to leave this piece of shit that makes me feel like shit, trying to stop treating someone who I love like shit, right? I need to have understanding. Understanding in baby steps. Baby steps provide understanding. You gotta find, what's the first step to fucking healing my relationship with this person? Well, I have to understand their feelings. Okay, so I gotta stop saying, oh no, you can't feel like that because I do this. Obviously they feel that way. Find out why. Ask them. Understanding is the key. And once you choose to understand them, they are gonna wanna understand you. They're gonna love you. Every relationship that I've had is fruitful now. With my family, everything. And I could have went my whole life just blaming them and been in the right. Because I was getting treated like shit. But I realized that people don't just treat people like shit for no reason. Most people are inherently good people. Most people wanna give. They wanna love. And then life beats you the fuck down, And then you get to where you're like, man, fuck these people. These people don't care about me. But they do. They just got a lot going on. Just like you got a lot going on. You in your moment are sitting there blaming other people. Well, think about them in their moment blaming other people. And then realize how nothing gets done that way. Somebody got to goddamn love enough to love themselves to show. And that's what I'm trying to at least do. And that's why when I get wisdom, that's why I go on these rants, because I feel this shit is working. I ain't just out here talking for no goddamn reason. And I know that if people can't hear me, I don't go, well, fucking it's something that people do. I go, well, I'm not good enough at speaking the things that I feel comprehensively. Or they would be able to understand them comprehensively. If I'm being judged, it's because of what I'm projecting into the world. And if I'm being judged in a way that I don't want to be judged, it's not good enough just to go, fuck those people, they're to fucking blame. I have to look at myself and go, okay, well, if I want to be perceived a certain way, then I need to care about my actions. I need to care. It's wild. I went through so much suffering and so much fucking pain to get to this place. And I've had things in the past where I went through suffering and pain to get to them and did not want to give anybody a piece of it. Because I didn't feel like they deserved it. I feel like why should they have it? Why should they get to get on my level when I'm the one who did all the work? And I think about that in regards to this all the time. But I still get on here. I still fucking talk. And so that tells me that I just care. Inherently, I love you so fucking much. Because of how my mom programmed me to just love the world. And it's not fair that I am going to be the one out here working and loving and giving understanding and then still not getting it back. But it doesn't matter if it's fucking fair or not. Because I love myself and I want me to be fucking happy. And so that just means I need to not give more than I can afford to. I need to make sure that I'm okay before everybody else is okay. Because I know that when I'm okay, I can truly give and help. And I cannot trust that you will. Just because you say you do. The Bible, I feel like almost all religions, it says a man should be determined by his fruit. If you want to know how if someone's a good or bad person, look at their actions. But I don't think you should judge someone like, oh, that's a good person or that's a bad person. Especially if they lack understanding, because then they're just a lost person. It doesn't matter if they're happy or not. That's why I give even less into the people who get on here and act like they got mad love for me. Because they're still just making assumptions. Because these people have not come in to talk to me. They do not understand me. They don't know me. So I don't read too much into that shit. It's nice. It's cool. It is what it is. Even the people who fucking hate, I don't care. I still love you too. Because you just have a misunderstanding and you chose to take that route of understanding, of assumptions in your fucking mind because of how you've been programmed to perceive life. And that ain't got shit to do with me. And so I'm not going to judge you for it, or hold it against you, or even think about it often. Because why would I think about lies and things that are definitely not fucking true, or have a high probability of not being true? I can either take a baby step towards having that conversation, texting that person, hey, how you doing? You doing all right? Let them know that I love them and care about them before I say anything. That way they don't make an assumption that I'm only coming at a negative way, if it's something like that. But most of my friends, I can just hit them up and talk about any goddamn thing. At this point, they fucking know. Love ain't given, it's earned. You can love others, but you can't love others and not love yourself, because you can only love others to the extent of what you understand love. And you can only understand love as much as you know to love yourself. If you want to grow the extent of love, you have to do it from within. Because you cannot guarantee that anybody is feeling a certain kind of way. You cannot perceive accurately from somebody else's actions whether you are good or not at love. And that's why so many people think they are. They get into this routine or whatever it is, and then the next thing they know, their partner's cheating on them. They're fucking arguing all the time. They don't feel like they're wanting to be understood. And like, divorce happens. People split up. They grow apart. It's that lack of understanding. That love is grown from within. It is the only way that you can grow your perception and your ability to love. It's the quickest way to grow your level of understanding because you are you, you're with you, you're in your mind. So when something clicks, it clicks. You're not depending on somebody else. You do not know the thoughts that go through somebody else's head. You are with you all the time, 100% of the time. If you want to grow these things, you have to learn them within. And I've said a fucking lot, and I feel like it sounds complicated, but it's not. It's just baby steps. It's just one baby step too. Like, when you take the one, you'll see the next one. You're like, oh, that's easy. There's another step's got to go right there. I fixed my weed eater, so I'm about to get on out here. Maybe I should start another video. I probably should start another live because I didn't went and ran it on this shit.